Hello there. My name is Cynthia Wakeo, the Communication and Events Manager at Corporate Staffing Services. Today I'm joined by Pamina Swainaina, our lead HR consultant, who's going to be telling us the interview questions to expect in a HR interview. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Start us off by telling us what kind of questions, interview questions, HR can expect in an interview.
Yeah, it's interesting that we are discussing about HRs, preparing for interviews, because it's normally given that, you're in HR, you do this every day, you interview people. You should get it right. I mean, you should know. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. And in the span of my career, I've been able to coach, prepare candidates, especially senior level candidates, HR candidates who are looking to get to that next level. Yeah. So in terms of what to expect, if you're going for HR job interviews, the questions can be categorized into two. So number one is the technical, and this one we'll be looking to assess what is your competencies when it comes to the various HR areas. For example, are you competent in labor laws? Do you understand things to do with HR policies, performance management, trainings? So I would say the basics that form around the HR competencies. And if you're looking for a higher level job, then we even ask you about your strategic input. And this is where we talk about the HR business partnering. So questions you definitely revolve around those technical areas. Now the other thing is, the other category or the other way they would ask you is, who is Cynthia? So they would want to know you. Who are you as an individual? What's your character like? What motivates you? What makes you wake up every morning? What is even your interest? Yeah. So broadly, I would say look out for those two areas. Number one, your technical competencies, and number two, questions that revolve around your personality, who you are, your attributes, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you talk about technical aspect of the interview, are there practical sessions where you expect, and what areas of that can you expect?
Yes, for sure. If you're starting out in your career, you're a HR intern, you have 2 years of experience. A lot of what you'll be asked might be theory.
Yeah.
But now, no, the more experienced the role requires you to be, the more practical you have to be. So, for example, if it's Employment Act, there's no theory behind it because it's either you know or you don't know. For example, if I come, I ask you, um, tell me how to take a staff through a redundancy process. That's something you must have mastered. Why? Because if you make a mistake, you see the kind of exposure, the kind of risk you're putting in the organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say expect 90% of the questions. I would say expect them to be as practical as possible. Yeah.
All right. And how can I ensure that I stand out in that interview?
The way I look at it is first understand the organization who is interviewing you, because also HR is very broad, even in the way it's applied. For example, an NGO and manufacturing company, they'll have, yes, the HR aspect is the same, but they're different approaches. Why? Because most likely in NGO, you are dealing with skilled staff. Maybe everyone has a degree and above, even maybe masters. But for a manufacturing firm, you might find 90% of your staff, they're unskilled. So how can you as a HR run or help run such an organization where these are not people who you'd communicate with through email? They are not people who probably would understand the official languages of communication, that is English and Kiswahili. Yeah. So the more you show that you're practical, the more you show that you're flexible, in the sense that when the time comes, you don't mind going to speak in front of people, even in the mother tongue, if that is what you help. Yeah. So I would say the secret to acing any HR job interview is showing flexibility by understanding, the dynamics that go with the various sectors and organization. Yeah.
And of course, there are the normal questions that you get asked in an interview.
Yes.
And are there any sources that can help now this professional to pass an interview?
Yes, that's a good question. So I would say around 30% of interviews nowadays is, I would say these, like you put it, these are questions you should expect. For example, tell us about you. That's an opening question that you'll be asked. And you've seen, even if it's TV interviews, politics, people still get to be asked, who are you? Things to do with salary. Why are you leaving? why you're looking for this opportunity. Yeah, so beyond the technical, definitely those are questions to expect.
Yes.
And the way we help you is if you come to our website, you see we do have free videos where we explain or share with you tips on how you can go about it, answering these questions.
Yes.
And beyond even that, if you feel that you handling interviews is always a challenge, then we do offer one-on-one coaching service where you get to come, you sit with an experienced HR expert who will be able to guide you. You know, this is how they'll ask you questions as if it's a real job interview.
Yeah.
You get to answer, and then Wakeo, they'll give you feedback. This is what you're doing. This is how you're doing it. If there are gaps, they'll be able to help you improve. Yeah, so we have two resources. One of it is free. I believe there are around 15 videos, which I myself and you have shot, where we empower you. And if you want to take it to the next level, where you'd want something customized, one-on-one assistance, we can help with interview preparation.
All right.
Yeah.
So finally, any final thoughts or rather advice to HR professionals going for interviews?
My final thought is, even if you're in HR, remember it's all about also how you market yourself. You know, for you to get to that next level, it's how you market yourself. So being able to master interview skills is really, really important. And don't take it for granted that, oh, because I'm in HR, I'm supposed to have figured this thing out. If you feel there's a gap, there's no harm in asking for assistance. Yeah, so if you're there, you're watching this video and you dread interviews, or you've been called for an interview and it's your dream job, or you'd want to get to that next level, it helps to get some expert advice and help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Akio.
Thank you for watching this video. For more information on how you can ace your next HR interview, please click on the links below. See you next time.